like I'm in jail or something. I'm posted up against the wall. I'm scared. Jeez. Questions, concerns?
So when we hear special teams coach, I know that the coaches kind of split it up over. How does this job affect you? What's different than maybe the years past when Brent's been on kickoff and somebody else is?
Well, basically, I have to be in charge of managing every special team, overseeing all facets of the special teams. Yes, we do split them up, but on game day, I'm the guy that's going to be coordinating, calling things, and collaborating with Coach Swinney on what he wants to do. It's a blessing, because now it puts me in front of the team as a whole. It's one of those things that you gradually grow as a coach, and now not only do you control 10 to 15 guys, now you're in control of 130 guys. So it's definitely a blessing, and it's a challenge, and I love it.
Was it fun with so many new faces trying to figure out who goes where and who is coaching which section?
Well, one is I'm one of those kind of guys that's very communicative, so I talk to everybody. I'm one of those kind of guys that I'll strike up a conversation with anybody on the street if you ask me to. But so it wasn't a big transition for me. You got Coach Grisham, who handles the kickoff return team. Coach Khan is the kickoff coverage and punt. I do the punt return and kickoff return. So we all have different facets within the special teams because not one coach can coach all 12 or all 11 at one time. So
I know Will returned a lot of kickoffs last year.
Yes.
Do you anticipate him filling a similar role this year? You gonna work somebody?
Well, it just depends. He's got to work himself back in. He's a natural. When you have a young man with that caliber who can transfer his baseball skills over to football, he can track the ball. He's very athletic with the ball in his hand, so it was a no-brainer to have him back there catching the ball.
How about kickoff return?
Kickoff return, it's up in the air. Everybody's auditioning for positions out here, and that's the one good thing about spring. Nobody is locked into a position, so we're trying to get a bunch of people to audition for the job and see who's the best player at the end of the day.
How big of a setback is this for Jaedyn with his shoulder having to have?
It's one of those things where you don't want to see a promising young man with his skill set to come in and have an injury. But the one thing he'll have to do is mentally he'll have to stay in tune, which he is. He'll just have to make the catch up when we come back in the fall. Summer. But he'll be okay. He's a very talented kid, and he'll make the adjustments and be ready to go once September comes.
How much would you like to see him sort of thicken his body between now and August?
Jaedyn thicken his body? I mean, it'll gradually happen, but he's a big kid right now. You would like all of them to come in and look like that. He's one of those kind of kids that jumps out of the cereal box and he's already assembled. Ain't much I got to do. Coach Batson may have to tweak and tune up a little bit, but he's got an NFL body right now. He just got to make the transition as far as mentally playing on this level and the playbook and things of that nature.
Where does that competition stand for number 2 corner right now behind Sheridan?
Well, I think competition is as a whole. Nobody's cemented any position out there. I have not made a roster depth chart right now, so these guys are competing every day. Who knows who's going to start? One may be better working with another guy. Who knows? I got to find the best 2, the best 4, the best 5, the best 6. Because if you notice or not, I play all my guys. Nobody actually redshirts as a corner. My guys come in, they play.
Yeah. Has Sheridan performed as you sort of expect him to?
He's taking the leadership role. He's taking a step, which I anticipated. It's a process that all the corners since I've been here have been able to take. Each year, the load gets heavier and heavier for them because as you move up the road, you become a leader. And that's one of the beauties about playing guys early is they're not new to it when it happens.
Coach, what have you seen from some of those young guys?
I've seen a lot of, as far as skill set, they are what they are, for as the reason why I recruited them. Mature kids, highly athletic, tough. They've come in here with a good skill set, a basis, to build on. sometimes you get kids that are very raw that, you've got to start from the ground up. A lot of these young men have a good foundation in football. They come from great programs where they've, been able to learn and been taught a lot. So it's a blessing to see it in action. You guys see that play Jaedyn Lukus made in the Under Armour game. I mean, and you see it out here in the practice, you go, wow, this is what I saw on film and saw on tape.
Like you mentioned, even the young guys, you need them right away.
Oh yes, I don't recruit kids to come sit on the bench. Heck, I'm 50 years old. I mean, I'm not promised tomorrow. I want to see them play. And if you're cornering out there, you want to play, then you want to come to Clemson. Because you're going to play. All I ask for you to do is be coachable, give me good effort, and be tough. And more than likely, you're going to play out here.
It's a big absence, though, with the two big guys gone.
Oh, yeah.
Talk about that.
Well, it's next man up. And it's a good thing for a lot of younger kids because now they're getting put in a position that they may not have been in. Like, you may have a safety playing corner. Makuba's getting some reps at corner, which now makes him versatile. Which now makes him even a better cover guy than before. Because now he's going against receivers out in space. Whereas a lot of times in safety, you don't get that space.
What's your assessment of Nate so far?
I mean, he is what he's advertised. I mean, you saw glimpses of him last year, and he's changed. I mean, speed, his route recognition, and he's ultra competitive. He's going to be a good one. If he keeps making the strides that he's making, I'm excited for all of them actually. But Nate, to see his maturity, the process that he went through, it's beautiful. That's what you like.
Has Fred been able to get back?
Fred's actually in. We're just keeping him in that color jersey just so that, we don't want people to come, knocking on him. But he's doing all his footwork, so he's, come after spring break, his butt is full-fledged, let's go,
So you talked about the upperclassmen, the load gets heavier. For Sheridan, what do you want to see from him in terms of a leader?
I mean, just be more vocal. I understand, not everybody's a vocal leader, but, for me, I've got to push buttons. Okay, I've got to, it's like they say with a rubber band. You never know how strong a rubber band is until you pull it, right? So I'm going to pull that rubber band. So I'm going to ask him to do more, and, it's part of being here. He's been through the ringer, so it's now, hey, let's bring those other guys with us. We're only as good as the weakest link, right? So we got to pull them younger guys with us,
In terms of him doing more, is it just being vocal, or is there other aspects you want to see?
Just playing confident all the time, believing what he's seeing. A lot of times with younger kids, they don't believe in what they see. They second guess. Whereas the older guy, you've already seen it. So let's go. They don't hesitate. Let's believe in what you see. Go get it.
You talked a little bit about Jaedyn. What have you specifically seen from Toriano in these early practices?
Well, I have a picture that, people always ask me when I recruit, what's your typical corner? Toriano Pride, okay? As far as size, speed, strength, physicality, he has it. I mean, if you look at him on the practice field, I mean, he is legitimately what you want, some people think, I recruit taller guys. No, that's not the case. I want the best guys. They happen to be taller, okay, fine. I don't want to coach a bunch of Mike Reeds though. So, but he's a tremendous young man. Comes from a great football program, and like I said, he's the reason why I went out to St. Louis to go get a corner.
Are you worried about Shipley returning kicks, or is he so good at that he may stay there?
I mean, at the end of the day, we got to put guys on the field that can make plays. And if he's a guy that's going to make the play, then we got to play him. I mean, who are we to sit there and say, oh, we want to hold you over here? We don't have that luxury. You guys saw it, in college sports today. You lose a game, you're out of the contention, So, we're in it to win it. So we're going to put the best guys on the field, and the best guys, the guys that deserve to play are going to play.
What makes him so good at it?
I mean, you see it. He's a hell of an athlete. He's strong. He's fast. He's physical. He has no fear. And that's what you want. You know, heck, it's self-explanatory.
I know Malcolm's played a lot of nickel for you guys. I mean, who else could play that spot if you need him to?
You got Malcolm, you got RJ, you got Makuba. You know, Toriano, once he learns the corner aspect of things, he's a guy that can go in there. You know, so we have, you know, that's the good thing about a lot of kids that we have. We've recruited a lot of athletic kids that you can't pigeonhole for one position. You know, guys that can do multiple things. And that's why you see, you know, we're in a situation year in, year out when we have 10 wins. You know, we have a season where we have injuries at a certain position, and you see other guys just step in. You know, you see Kevin Swint, who comes here as a linebacker, and now he's playing some outside defensive end. He's a guy that's interchangeable. You know, so that's the beauty about the guys that we've recruited. You know, and the mindset of our kids. You know, that kids are selfless. They're going, hey, coach, you need me to do this? I'll do that. And that's what you like as a coach.
Like, I guess for you, you know, with the added responsibility, what were those conversations like with Dabo and, you know, and just, you know, accepting more as far as the special teams and the assistant head coach?
Well, you know, like I said, I've grown too. You know, I've been stretched too. And, you know, I work for a great man who, you know, who is very appreciative of his coaches. And, you know, for him, he sees something in me that he's like, hey, I got to groom this young man to be a head coach someday. You know, I don't know if I'm ready for it. You know, I love what I do. You know, and I love being with my kids. And when I say my kids, I mean my players. So for me, it's a great situation to be in. You know, for a coach to recognize me and see those qualities in me. You know, some people don't, where he does.
So have you taken a step back at all and just looked at the coaching staff, how much has turned over, and you're kind of one of the elder statesmen at this point?
Well, I'm one of them. I'm what you call one of those true soldiers. You know, I'm here to the end. You know, when the last bullet's fired, Coach Street's still there. You know, I'm like that old rusty dog. You know what I mean? You can't get me out of the pen. I'm there. You know, it's funny. You know, I'm going on 10 years. You know, I look around the landscape of college football, and I'm a dinosaur. Ain't many DB coaches been at an institution more than 5 years. I don't know. I mean, it's crazy. You know, so hey, I count my blessings every day. You know, I must be doing something right.
Did it surprise you when Dabo came to you about the assistant head coach title?
Yeah. I mean, it's just, you know, I just keep my head down and I work. You know, I've had my day where I was out there playing and all that, and needed people to recognize me. I'm a guy that loves to be behind the curtain. You know, it's somebody else's time to shine. You know, so I just do what I do. You know, as coach says, bloom where I'm planted. You know what I mean? That's me. You know. So.
And with Pro Day coming up, obviously Mario and Andrew will be back. I guess what's that like for you and seeing another, you know, more guys kind of headed to the league and getting ready for that?
It's twofold. You love it, but you hate it. You know, it's like your kids are leaving the nest, and you don't want them to leave. It's like, you know, if anybody or mothers or fathers, you know, your kids are leaving, you don't want them to leave. You're like, nah, stay here with me. You know, but it's also, you know, gratifying to see them, you know, come in as freshmen and write down goals and see those goals come to fruition. You know, when they tell you as a freshman that they want to play in the NFL and for that dream to come true, you're like, man, you know, you're so happy for them. You're happy for the families. I mean, that's. I mean, heck, I'm gonna miss Mr. Booth, Mrs. Booth. You know, Mario's family. You know, calling them when their son's missing class from, you know, late for tutoring. You know, them conversations right there. You know, why my son not playing much? Did you talk to your son? You know, so I'm gonna miss those conversations, but I'm happy for him. You know, that's the part about college football. You know.
What kind of players, I guess, would you say that an NFL team is getting in potentially either one of them?
You're getting guys that are winners, that know how to work, that are selfless, that are good teammates. You know, guys that are accountable. You know, the guys that have faced some adversity and overcame a lot of things. And that's what you're gonna get. You know, and they're gonna bring Clemson wherever they go, to whatever locker room they go to. You know, because